Hey guys, welcome back to my Tamiya Frog build. This final episode here, we're going to cover the driver body, the body of the car, as well as setting the tow in so you can run it. So I didn't do the body on this vehicle, so I don't have anything to show you. But what if I do the bodies on these vehicles, I'd recommend that you use the X series paint for the things that you want to be shiny, like the helmet or the buckles, and use the XF series paints for things like the jackets and the flesh tones. So make sure you get some very fine brushes. The better quality brushes will result in better quality driver figures. Now I'm going to try to hold this up to the camera so you can see. All right, so you can see how the driver figure is. You're supposed to screw a screw in the back of the helmet to hold the driver's front helmet and back helmet together, and then you screw a screw through the bottom of the body up into the helmet to hold the helmet onto the body. So what I'm going to recommend that you do is you can use a screw if you want in the back of the helmet, but generally I find it's better just to use some model cement the head together. If you want to use a screw, go ahead, but you get some modeler's putty. Tamiya makes some modeler's putty, other people probably do too, and you can fill that screw hole in the back as well as the one in the top with modeler's putty and get some very fine sandpaper, sand it down smooth, and then paint the helmet up, because you don't need to see those two screw holes. This body figure is used for a lot of different models, and many of them are mounted down through the top. That's what the screw hole on the top is for, but the Frog uses tape. So that's my tips for you for putting the body together. You probably want to use be very patient with the whole process, and you'll screw the head through the bottom of the body to fix it, and then double-side sticky tape the body figure onto the frame. Okay, so trimming up the body. So there's a couple of things about these bodies. One is you have to use the proper paint. That paint is called polycarbonate paint. Tamiya makes it, Duratrax makes it, Spaz Sticks makes it. Those are probably the three most common that I know of. And there's a whole entire process for painting these bodies and doing a really good job on them. So I'm not going to cover that. I'll go ahead and I'll put a link to the XXX main video on using their pre-cut vinyl mask, because that's what I use to paint this body, and I think their video does a pretty decent job. It's pretty short. So a couple of things that I'll cover here though. One is you want to get yourself a pair of really good Lexan body shears. So you see here in the picture I've got these Duratrax. There's a pair that are straight and a pair that are curved. The curved are going to totally be your friend. Do not try to cut this out with an X-Acto knife. You'll end up slicing your fingers off. The wing is a bit of a pain, especially here in the corners. All right, it's also a bit of a pain to paint. The body itself can also be a pain, especially up here around these little grooves. All right, and it's a perfect circle around the motor mount on this back side. So those are some of the things to look out for. I'd recommend not reaming out any of the mounting holes, okay, until after the body is fully painted, because that's just asking for a place for it to bleed through. And when you're cutting out the body, be very careful not to damage the clear film that is on the back side. So this top side of this body here is covered in a clear plastic film that you can't see. That there is to protect the body during painting, and then you peel it off after the painting is totally done. So after you cut out the wing, this is what I ended up with when I cut out the wing. Now it's really smart actually if you take a bit of fine sandpaper or even possibly a foam block of sandpaper or a fingernail buffer block, a little foam fingernail buffer block, and smooth out these edges. And then this is what the body looks like. This is all the scrap that I had left over, and this is what the body looks like. Now, as careful as I was being, I did end up scuffing the body here and here with the scissors. So that protective plastic is now scuffed off. So what I ended up having to do is put some masking tape on that one during painting. So this is what it kind of looks like here, a ghost body. The fin goes on this direction like this. And you want to place it on the car itself as best as you can to make sure you got all the cut lines the way that you need them to be, so it will fit on the car once the thing is complete. So, like I said, I used a pre-cut vinyl mask from a company called Triple X Maine. Now, I experimented a bit with liquid mask here in the nose as well as in the roll bars. And then I used Tamiya masking tape for the windows and around the outside edges of the rear fin. Um, Personally, I'm not a fan of the liquid mask. I don't think I'm going to use that again. It was quite a bit of a pain. It took forever to dry, even with the hair dryer. I had to do tons of coats on it, and although it worked fine, I think for bodies of this size, it's not a major deal. I think if you're going to do some real custom paint jobs where you're cutting the mask out by, you draw on the body on the outside with a marker and then you cut along, as there are some videos on YouTube that show, liquid mask is probably great for that. But for this type of thing, I think regular masking tape from Tamiya or other masking tape designed specifically for this is probably your best bet. And again, I'm not going to go into a ton about how to do this because there are plenty of other videos specifically on how to paint the body on YouTube that you can find. So this is what it looked like after I painted a few coats of the fluorescent yellow on, and then I'm backing it here with white. All right, and then I peel off all the nose and the vinyl. So this was all the liquid mask and the vinyl, and I peel all of that off, and then I painted it with the silver, and I backed everything up with black. Okay, now the kit comes with some aluminum fiberglass reinforced tape. I stole a 1.5 inch stamp punch that my wife does Stampin' Up with, so she has all these punches. So I borrowed one of her punches, did a circular punch, and I got 4 circles out of each square of tape that came with the kit. You only need 3, so that was very economical. And I then peeled the backing off halfway to make like a half moon shape, and I put that half moon shape, bisected the hole that I reamed out with my Duratrax body reamer, so that I got this as centered in the tape as possible, and then I stuck it down, peeled the backing off, and then I used my reamer from the front side to ream this hole out. And what this does is it reinforces the plastic around the body mount holes. So this is what it looks like when it's all mounted up. You've got these cotter pins that hold the body on. The backside has that mounting that you just saw, and this is what my vehicle looks like all painted up and from the backside. All right, so the final step here is step 33, and that's setting the toe in. Now, the toe in adjustments on here are pretty rudimentary. Basically, you adjust the length of the steering arms, and the way you do that is by rotating your buckle part here at the end. I don't remember what this is called. At any rate, the little white bit here at the end, but you can only rotate it full rotation. So the amount of adjustment you have is not amazingly fine as it would be if this was, say, a turnbuckle or something. So even though it is fine thread, you have to go a full rotation. So you want to have the drive axles, the front drive axles, 1 rotation forward from dead center. So each bar, I have 1 full rotation of this white end out from dead center, and this is about how it lines up. So this red line that I put on here represents a perfect dead center, and then I rotated these out 1, rotate this out full 1, and this is the toe in angle that I got, and that will give you your best steering capabilities. So that then completes the build. So I wanted to recommend a couple of hop-up parts beyond the ball bearing set, which I think are an absolute must to get, and beyond the Sport Tune motor that I'm using in my car, which, although it is a noticeable improvement over the 540 stock that comes with the kit, it's not a tremendous leap light year ahead. It is just a noticeable performance upgrade, well worth the money for the Sport Tune motor. So this first kit here is called the aluminum wheel adapter kit, and this is the Tamiya part number here, and this is what it looks like. So as you can see, it has the pins and these hex adapters. So what this will allow you to do is remove part C11 from step 25. That's the thin little plastic, I don't know what it is. It goes behind the drive wheels to lock the drive wheels onto the drive axle. So that part is replaced with these. So you can see they push it out much farther than what that thin little plastic piece that comes with the kit does. But this allows you to use modern 2.2-inch rims, rear two-wheel drive buggy rims, that you can then get modern tires that are foam filled. So if you're just going to use this car for bashing around in the backyard, don't worry about this. But if you're going to try to run this on a track, which I'm finding is pretty difficult to do, this car really wasn't meant and designed to handle modern tracks with the jumps and stuff. But if you decide to do that and you want to run modern tires, you don't want to continually buy these pin spikes or possibly like the Fast Attack vehicle type tires that I'm using. This is the kit you need to do it with. And then the other upgrade is the universal shafts. So the universal shafts go here, and they replace the drive shaft and the dog bones with these U-joints. So the big advantage to this is you'll have reduced times where your dog bones are popping out of your drivetrain. So what I'm finding with my car is that when I'm driving it on the track and I'm going over the jumps, or if I take a tumble and a roll, my dog bones are popping out. All right, so the U-shafts, universal joint shafts, should help reduce the number of times because, as you can see, they only can pop out on one side. So that should help